What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Friday, December 16th, 2022 edition of the Daily Energy News Beat Stand Up. I am your humble correspondent, Michael Tanner, coming to you from an undisclosed location here in Dallas, Texas, joined by the executive producer of the show, the purveyor of the show, and the director and publisher of the world's greatest website, EnergyNewsBeat.com, Stuart Turley. My man, how we doing?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and there is a ton of news hanging around, man. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, for usually Fridays are slow, not today. But first off, we appreciate you guys joining us here on this Friday. We know that you've got a lot of other things to do, like get out of the office quick today. And for all those people that can't, we appreciate your hard grind. But the weekend is here, folks. We've got line of sight, couple emails, and you will be able to get out of here. But as Stu mentioned, we've got a lot of stuff to cover. We're going to start out talking about, has ESG investing hit a brick wall, and how investors are reacting and what has changed. That's an article out of Jay Young's Substack. So it'll be very interesting to hear his thoughts when we'll fly over to Europe and talk about how they're fast tracking power grid investments in an effort to decarbonize quicker. We'll come back home and learn that, yikes, the U.S. electric grid is facing unprecedented risk due to some current FERC decisions that are happening. I mean, as always, Stu finds the scary stuff for us. Also, the Biden administration's reversed Ferret on energy policy. I'm fascinated to hear about this. And then my personal favorite, U.S. coal exports to Europe are up 46% by weight, 184% by value. Make coal great again. He'll kick it over to me. I'll cover everything that happened in the crude oil and natural gas markets, including talking about the new natural gas injection storage numbers, which dropped yesterday at about 10 a.m. Again, I will cover all that and a bag of chips, guys. But first, check us out at www.energynewsbeat.com. This is not a hyperbole when I say it is the world's greatest website, and good things will happen to you the more often you go to that website. So please check us out in the link below. All of the stories we get are from that website. Stu does a great job of curating and making sure all of the important energy news is there. But with that, Stu, enough of the pleasantries. Where would you like to begin?
Well, let's start with a trend that we're seeing more on. And I really like this article from Jay Young. He's a CEO over at King Operating, and I recommend everybody to go jump out on his Substack.
Great Substack. It's a great Substack, I have to say.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of good articles out there, and I like it because it's covers the whole gamut of the E&P space. He's a fourth generation oil and gas man. Good guy out there. So go follow it. Has ESG investing hit a brick wall, and how are investors reacting? What has changed? He's got some great points in here when he was talking about early on in the article. We've had so much news. FTX is in the news. People are tired of getting scammed. But Michael, you and I have always talked about also the ESG movement has been good for oil and gas in some ways and bad, but the ESG investing movement took a total left turn. And in this article, BlackRock was 1.7 trillion in the first half of the year. And then BlackRock was leading the way. Now the investors are asking for Fink to be tossed out. Here's where it goes even a little bit further than just that tidbit on BlackRock. Forbes had an article on ESG investing this morning, and this is really a big point. Reducing harm to the environment as a business model has captured investors' attention as formalizing ESG. Now, a key performance for companies, yet the corporate maximization of ESG has led to greenwashing, deceptive marketing. Politicians, regulators, it goes on and has some other really good points in there. Here's where it gets really funny. Faith Bristol is the executive director of the IEA. The world is in the midst of a truly global energy crisis with impacts that will be felt for years. Take that just a little bit, and he says defund 100% of fossil fuels. He now has come out in the last week or two, Michael, and in this article he says, oh, wait a minute, we need to start funding in it. And when you come down to the bottom line, I love what Jay has said. What has changed? In a word, pain. Pain at the pump, energy prices to consumers, and pain in investors' portfolios. You and I have talked about investors' pain level. I think Jay's pointing out investors have finally hit their pain level, and FTX really brought it out and saying, hey, wait a minute, this is a real issue.
Yeah. I think this article hits the nail on the head from a couple different things. First off, I said, I love how it says, what has changed? In a word, pain. I mean, it has been painful, this change. I mean, you think about the prices people are paying at the pump. You think about how the supply chains have been affected. And you think about how there's this contrast of what's going on at the political level of, go green, go green, go green. And then what's going on in reality. So I think this, as always, this Jay Substack does a good job of being very holistic in taking multiple different things, putting them together and outlaying.
Let me give you two more things here real quick. Jamie Dimon in this, Jay quotes him and says, Jamie Dimon says, Europe's energy crisis could go on for years. It's going to bleed over to the US, and that goes into some of our other articles. And Jay brings up energy investing, great awakening will take a root. You'll see more oil and gas produced globally while you're sitting back. Take a look at your portfolio. That's good advice. Just take a look at your portfolio and see where you're going. Okay.
No, I completely agree. What's next?
Okay. We go to, in following along, you notice that there's a little pattern going on with our show, and that is all of the stories are related somehow. It's kind of like follow the trail. Well, the trail on this squirrel goes to U.S. energy grid faces unprecedented risk due to FERC decisions. The U.S.
FERC,
grid,
Federal Electricity Reliability Council, not somebody who I want to necessarily tell me the U.S. grid is unprecedented. The Federal Electric Reliability Council.
No, Regulatory Commission.
I thought it was called Reliability Council. Regulatory Commission. I'm sorry, I'm an idiot.
Reliability Corporation. Wow, there's two of them. One's a regulatory and one's a reliability. Both are bad.
That's what I thought. It's the North American Electric Reliability Corporation. Sure. That makes sense.
All right. Now, trailing along on that is Europe must fast track power grid. Now, the grid has been ignored for years. I mean, I interviewed Ann from California Burning when she wrote that. She's a Wall Street Journal reporter. The grid has had some serious problems in California, and it's been in very minor updates. You cannot put new technology on there like renewables and everything else. But the biggest thing is Europe got to where they are by printing money. They're in a financial and energy crisis. And now Rystad is saying that they must add 530 gigawatts of solar and 66 gigawatts of solar and wind. When you talk about that, that's a lot of money, but the grid can't handle it unless the grid is updated. It's unbelievable how much money is going to be printed. Article's got a lot of facts. All right.
Very, very interesting. Courtesy again of the world's greatest website, energyusb.com.
All right. Biden administration reverse Ferret on energy policy. I got really ticked at this one. This was a really fun.
Whenever we can run an article that says, hold my beer, I'm down.
The White House seems to have caught a bout of the British disease. Other than bad teeth, no, it's actually where they have Biden's chief energy advisor recently declared the U.S. energy to be un-American, according to a report in the UK-based Financial Times. The key paragraph reads as follows. I'm only read this one article. This one paragraph. I think that the idea financiers would tell companies in the United States not to increase production and to buy back shares and increase dividends when profits are all-time high is outrageous, says Amos Hochstein, President Biden's International Energy Envoy. It's not only not un-American, it is unfair to the American public. So
That's a pretty damning quote.
Yes. And when you go in here, anyway, the administration should be embarrassed. Consistency matters. They're flip-flopping. They go, it's like Biden going over there and promising to the UK and the EU all the LNG they want. And then in the next week, President Biden comes back here and says, no more drilling. And then he says, I'm going to allow you to drill, but I'm going to slow walk all the processes. This is embarrassing. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you said it best.
It's embarrassing. This is like the rude uncle that shows up for the holidays next week, and you just have to put a face palm there. Okay. Next one.
It's Cousin Eddie. It's dinner's full.
We got our family tradition to watch that movie every year. Okay. You just got me. I'm going through all the one-liners in that movie. U.S. coal exports to go to Europe up by 46% by weight and 184% by value. I put out on Twitter today that I'm actually like doing bad things, so Santa Claus will bring me a lump of coal. That's more valuable than what I was asking for. So Europe is now buying, Michael, 50% more U.S. coal this winter. So Biden administration has been shutting down Senator Manchin's coal in Pennsylvania, but they are not shutting down because they're actually shipping it to the UK. Unbelievable. Coal exports are up 184%. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah. I mean, it's just another, we could sit here, we could run stories like this every day, and a whole show could be an energy hypocrisy show. But this is just another one of those articles that highlights, you go green, what happens? In a crunch, you still need dispatchable energy. The cheapest way and the most efficient way and the best way to get dispatched energy is either between coal or natural gas. And when you don't have a natural gas infrastructure, guess what you do?
Right.
Fire up them coal tankers, ship it across the Atlantic, and fire up them, burners, right, or whatever you do, the coal house, whatever we need the steam engines.
We need to have a plan to use clean energy tech, because we can produce energy with coal a lot cleaner than it is being done around the world. So
absolutely. Anything else for you?
Nah, it's off to you and finances, man. That was a great day.
Yeah, it's been a great day. It's been a great week, guys. And again, we appreciate you sticking through us here. I'll keep it quick so you guys can get out of here and start your weekend. We're looking here on the overall market side. SPY was down about 2.5 percentage points. NASDAQ stumbles 3.3 percentage points. Not a great day for the markets. Again, if only because yesterday we were confirmation that or on Wednesday that Fed Chair Jerome Powell is going to come and increase interest rates by 50 basis points. The key signal there, though, is that their 5.1 target is going to be blown past. So that means interest rates theoretically are going to be targeted at higher rate, which really sent everyone pretty much stumbling. And that's mainly the cause of what you're seeing in today's bear market. On the crude oil side, fairly choppy. We were all the way up to about 77.50. About midday, we've since then slumped and are currently trading here on the 15th at 5:50 p.m. at about 76.26. So a little bit of softness. I think the street is a little bit more reacting to what we saw on Wednesday with that 10 million barrel build when there was an expectation of a draw from the crude oil inventories there at Cushing. Natural gas, we got a little bit more interesting. We've seen a slight rip up to about 680. We were all the way down in that 620, 640 range earlier in the day. We did, however, see natural gas inventories come out. We did see an injection. That injection came in at 50 BCF. Remember, we were expecting the range of injections between 33 and 60. Actual came in about 50. And a year ago, we did 83. So fairly in line with expectations. And I think being a little bit on the higher side of those expectations is what drew prices and buoyed prices today. Around that time, as we head into the weekend here, weather models do look like it's going to stay fairly cold. So I think you'll see prices hold today as we roll into this weekend on the crude oil side, Stu. I'm not sure, again, we're really riding the wave of what's going on in the overall economy. Obviously a stronger dollar is going to drive oil prices up, but we'll continue to monitor. And I think Friday is going to be fairly slow. I do think we'll probably, there could be a few untimely, what do I say, press releases that come out. So we will make sure to watch. And if anything crazy happens, we will make sure to let you guys know. But pretty quiet on the oil and gas side today, Stu. Not much news. I saw the Rice brothers, they made their SPAC, ended up making an investment in now clean energy. So they've nice. Sort of pivoted now. They're both natural gas and renewables. So it'll be very interesting to see the relationship between them.
A diversified portfolio between renewables for tax credits and everything else and natural gas is very smart.
We love a good tax credit. What should people be watching out for this weekend? Or what's the key takeaway from this week, I should ask?
Boy, I'll tell you, the only thing I'd say is be careful out there. Absolutely enjoy your family and avoid the family that drives you nuts. And
that means we're not shooting the show next week then?
Oh no.
Just kidding.
No, but I want everybody to have a blessed time with the holidays, and we're gonna keep on doing the show, man. If the markets we're doing it.
Think? Yeah, if the markets are open, we'll do it. We'll probably, and we haven't talked about this, Stu, but my guess is we'll shoot Monday through Thursday next week. We'll do 4 shows next week. Maybe we'll shoot Friday. But we'll definitely probably that Monday we're going to take off. Again, I think when the markets are closed, we'll be chilling.
Absolutely. So,
well, guys, with that, we'll let you get out of here. Hopefully start your weekend early. We appreciate you guys sticking with us all week long. As always, for Stuart Turley, I'm Michael Tanner. We will see you Monday, guys. Have a great weekend. Today's episode of the Energy Newsbeat podcast is brought to you by Enverus. The energy industry faces massive challenges every day, and the events over the last 2 years have caused huge disruptions like never before. Companies in the energy industry need actionable intelligence and a single source of truth that brings all the data together. Enverus is the energy specialized technology partner that provides intelligent connections for a global energy ecosystem. Only Enverus has the analytics, people, experience, and industry scope to connect the right data and information in the right way to discover missed opportunities and deliver fast outcomes. Find out more at Enverus.com. That's ENVERUS.com.